I used a pendulum. And in the conservatory, this thing was going like 90 miles an hour. And it was just absolutely fascinating. They were taking pictures, and there was sort of a cloud around me while this was happening. And it was really an experience I haven't had before.
Okay, so you're saying that you're a first-time pendulum user?
Yes, yes.
And a believer?
Yes, I'm very definitely a believer.
Okay. Well, I know you're going to be following along with us, taking a different team. I think you were with Sal and Jen. You started with Sal and Jen, or Carl. You were with Carl.
I was with Carl.
Carl and Mike and trying to think who else was on that team. I don't want to good ones.
There were 4 people
Liz,
on that.
Liz is on there, and Dinah.
Yes, yes.
So as far as getting to know how to use a pendulum, Dinah is the one to teach you because she's great with the pendulum. And where did you get this pendulum?
Well, I got it tonight. It was made by one of the folks here, Carl. And Carl actually, I believe he's a psychic, because he really was sort of in tune to feelings and seeing things, and it was a very good first cruise through the house.
Absolutely. I know when you and I first spoke, you, from the start, you were not a paranormal believer into the ghosties. You want to tell us about your first experience here?
My first experience, or my first apparition that I saw?
Let's go with the apparition. That's a good one.
Okay. Well, it was probably about a year ago. I've been here for 10 years, and we started with doing ghost tours probably about 7 years ago, and you really can, I was starting to get a sense of what was happening, because the people who lived here and worked here had written down different things, that they saw things and they felt things, and so I decided,
you guys going for a smoke?
Idea to do the ghost tour. And so I'm really the skeptic, and I try to prove or disprove things that are happening, especially in photographs. And what happened was, after all of this time, I had seen things in the corner of my eye, and heard things, and smelled things. I mean, strange things. Well, I won't go any further there. But anyway, I was closing up the mansion about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I went in through to one room, and in the corner of the room somebody was sitting there, and he had a red smoking jacket on, and I sort of looked at him and I said, well, I didn't say anything actually. I was sort of stupefied, and when I'm, is that such a word? I did. Sorry about that. Anyway, when I'm closing up the mansion, I go upstairs, and the hair on the back of my neck stands up, and I know they're there. And so I say, I know you're there, but I don't want to see you. And so when I experienced this individual sitting in a chair, it wasn't just a ghostly figure. It was like a human being sitting there, which was very, very strange. And I looked at him, and of course I didn't have the wherewithal to stop and ask him a question or anything. I was just, I was so freaked out and full of chills that I turned away and I said, I see you. And then I turned back, and he was gone. And I immediately got on the phone and called Dr. Lou and said, you wouldn't believe what I just saw. And that was my first, after like 6 years, that I actually saw something that was very, very special and very strange.
Now, since then, have you seen any more?
Not really. I've had a sense of seeing things out of the corner of my eye. A couple of times upstairs in my office, there's going through the mansion, there's 2 doors that swing back and forth. And to the point where I was sitting in my office reading the paper in the morning, and I heard the doors swing open and close. And I said, hello, hello, because I get here really early and there's nobody here except me. And I mean, this was so obvious that I got out of my chair from my desk, went and looked in the hallway because I was certain that somebody had walked into the hall.
Well, that sounds exciting, and I know we've all, so far, everybody's reporting back in that they've had some experiences. Now, our next rotation, we'll be heading up to the attic, and I think you will be going down to the basement, because you're going to be following along with Sal and Jenny and everybody. So we'll be back in during our next break, and maybe I'll nab Dr. Lou for the next interview. All right, stay tuned. And kid, I hope you're watching. I love you. Bye.
Good evening, Dr. Lou here on one of our updates here from Rockwood's investigation, and I'm with two of our guests that have been here this evening. If you guys will mention your names, please, and tell us just a little bit about what you may have experienced this evening here.
Well, my name is Scott, and this evening we've captured some noises here and there, but for the most part it's been quiet. But I've had you know, that eerie, you know, sort of creepy feeling, you know, throughout the house.
I'm Tori, and I can definitely say that down the basement I was not feeling very well, as far as being very cold, freezing cold, and we thought that the shadow man was behind me, and that was very unnerving. But
now, while you were in the basement, did you feel as though there was a presence, or I mean, it just didn't a bad case of nerves, but I mean, you actually felt as though there was a presence nearby?
Definitely, there's just that.
Well, you and I were both down there, and we both were feeling the same basic thing. Now, earlier when we were down there in the night, we were hearing whispering, and that seemed to go on for a while, and then it kind of stopped. We've been using the spirit box, and we really didn't get as much response out of it as we hoped for, but we did get some words that seemed to make some sense out of it. Is there another part of the house that you enjoyed going to visit?
I liked going into Mary's room. That was interesting.
The sewing room. We seemed to have a conversation there with Mary. She responded to all the questions with dowsing rods.
So in your opinion, do you feel that there is something generally paranormal happening inside this house?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And would you come back and visit again?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Okay, I thank you for your time. Thank you very much.
Okay, go.
Good evening. Dr. Lou here, and we are at Rockwood Mansion here in Wilmington, Delaware. We're doing an overnight program tonight. We did one about 2 weeks ago, and we had fantastic results. All types of activity, all types of different things happening, and it was just really great. We had a great time. This young lady sitting next to me has been on several tours. She's been an investigator with us for, well, the last 7 years at least, at Rockwood as well as some at other locations. And she's going to introduce herself, and she's going to tell you a little bit about her experiences here at Rockwood.
Hi, my name is Rachel Connors. I've been visiting here at Rockwood for the past 7 to 10 years. I remember the first experience that I had here at Rockwood. We were in Mary's bedroom, and I was assisting with one of the tours. And one of the guides behind me, all of a sudden I started to get ice cold, and I couldn't move, and I could feel someone making a circle on my back. So I asked the tour guide to hit her digital recorder, and we started to ask questions, and one of the questions were, could you tell us your name? Then we'd asked a couple more. When I got home and I played it back, apparently Mary had a conversation with me that I was not aware of. She did respond to, will you tell us your name? She said, I'm not telling you. And then I said something along the lines, oh, it's touching my back, it's over here. And she said, can you see me touch your back? So it was very humbling, not to hear it at the time, but to go home and then realize that we were having a conversation back and forth together. But it was an experience I'll never forget.
So Rachel, in the respects of being an investigator out here at Rockwood, what is it that you feel that is in this house? Is it the presence of the individuals who once lived here, or
Yes.
do you feel that there's other presences inside the house? Because I know you're a little sensitive and you pick up on things that others don't.
The pools that I get are absolutely family members or very close friends or close staff or members that would have worked with the family, absolutely positively that are here. So as soon as you walk in, you're immediately welcomed, warm feeling, close feeling, love. The emotions within the family, within the friends, the parties, the laughter, the love. Just you feel like you're at home, not in a mansion, that it's a home.
So in the relationship that we have formed as a working partners here, what do you think is the most interesting development in the last 7 years that you found here? Was it the photographs that we caught, or the audio that we might have gotten, or is it just the personal experiences that you've had?
I'd have to say a combination of three. I can't really pick one. I love to hear back the EVPs when we're having conversations. I love to get the forms that we catch on camera. It's just confirmation. I love the confirmation that what we're doing is something that's scientific. I mean, you have your proof. Yes, you can hear it, you can see it, but you put it on black and white, or you let someone listen to it and you've got the proof there. That just makes me more at comfort with it, just knowing that others can share what we've experienced.
If you were going to invite somebody else to come out here and experience this, what would you say to them?
Be prepared. You're going to get something, hear something, see something, feel something. It's not a matter of if, it's when.
Well, we're going to be on an investigation tonight, and hopefully we'll have Rachel and some other people that will sit down in front of the camera and tell us some of their experiences. So this is Dr. Lou here at Rockwood Mansion here in Wilmington, Delaware, and we'll catch up with you a little later. Welcome back. This is Dr. Lou. I'm here with Mary, and we've had a very interesting night. Don't you think so, dear?
Oh, absolutely.
We really appreciate them and everybody who's came out tonight to do the program. And what is there one thing that sticks out in your mind that was more exciting than something else, perhaps?
I'm an animal communicator, and anything involving animals usually does jump out. And when we were up in Mary T's room, I kept hearing like the clanging of a dog collar. I heard a few, like the heart on the floor, like the nails of a dog running.
Right.
That was pretty cool. We were down in the basement, and we were doing a flashlight experiment. And what we do is we put 3 little flashlights, and we have them where you can sort of, if they're tapped, they'll turn on. And we put them in a secure spot, and we started like an EVP session, asking to turn the lights on, the flashlights, and a couple of them turned on for us. We got some good evidence with pictures, which I can't wait to go home and blow up and then send them to you.
Well, I think that we, my most exciting part of the night was in the basement.
Yeah.
And we actually had a lot of very strange activity going on, but we also had a lot of strange activity up in the Edwards room and in the sewing room where the seamstresses worked. And I mean, we actually picked up a ton of stuff. We were using a lot of different equipment, and I think the cameras that we were using, the full spectrum cameras, were just revealing all types of stuff that we weren't normally getting from the regular pictures. So I've not actually used a lot of those. I know people who have them, and you know, I'm definitely buying one now. There's no doubt about it. It definitely is worth having the extra money to be able to have one. So thank you all for coming out to Rockwood. You can always find out about tours by going to rockwood.org. And I believe, when's our next tour, Phil?
Next weekend.
Next weekend is a normal tour?
Regular is 7 and 9 o'clock.
Okay, we have a 7 o'clock tour and a 9 o'clock tour. The 9 o'clock tour is a 3-hour small mini investigation. And then the 7 o'clock tour is about an hour and 15-minute standard tour through the building. And you get to use, of course, the ghost hunting equipment with all of those particular tours that we go on. And then April 14th, I believe we have an overnighter. For those of you who are interested, it's a cost of $100, and you need to go to rockwood.org to be able to get signed up and see all about that. So thank you again for coming out to Rockwood, and it's been an interesting night. Thank you, Mary, and your group. It's been wonderful. Can't wait to have you guys back again. Awesome. Thank you guys all, and God bless.